locked this and took the key.
Wasn't me, Uncle Jed. Ellie did.
Head her off, Jed. Chase her back this way. Might need your help, Jethro.
Yes, I'm Gran.
Grab her and hold her, Jethro.
Yes, sir, Uncle Jed.
Let me go.
Jethro, I didn't mean Granny.
Oh, I'm sorry. You hollered hold her, and she was the only herder here to hold.
Let me catch her. I'm going to kick and break that young'un if it's the last thing I ever do.
All right, Jethro, you go through the pantry. Granny, you go around back. I'll circle the house and see she don't get out the front door.
Hurry, Skip. Unlock the door. That's it, Skip. Attaboy. Come on, Skip. Turn the key. I got the trap now. Right, Skip?
Jethro, grab her and hold her. Ellie Mae got away, thanks to you, Jethro.
Yeah, you're welcome, Uncle Jed, but I pretty near lost my leg doing it.
She made it to the big tree, Jed.
Jethro, how about shinnying up that tree and getting her down?
I'd sooner jump into a swamp full of gators.
This ain't no time for swimming. Now get on that tree.
I'm too young to die, Granny.
Granny, the boy has been thrown out of that tree a couple of times on his head.
It ain't just that I got to fight Ellie up there in that treetop. She'll have her bobcat up there to help her. A raccoon and her possum and no telling what all.
There goes a little ape to join her side.
Son of a gun can hang on with one hand and hit you with three.
Oh, that you big fraidy cat. I'll go get her myself.
No, Granny, Jethro and me will handle it. You just stick around the bottom of the tree and see that no more critters joins up with her. Come on, Jethro.
Remember what you promised me, Uncle Jed?
Yeah, boy, put down your end and run.
Where's Jethro? I'm gonna beat him up. You ain't gonna beat nothing but a great big batch of biscuit dough. Now you get busy and make your pa a nice pan of hot biscuits.
You want hot biscuits, Paul?
Well, it ain't that, Ellie. It's just that we figure you ought to be able to bake biscuits for your husband.
Well, I ain't got no husband.
Well, we're hoping all that'll change. You see, here in Beverly Hills, the girl's got a chance to marry up with a handsome movie star.
Yeah, like Tom Mix or Hoot Gibson.
Well, Granny, I hear tell that they got some new ones. Miss Jane was talking about a fellow named Cary Grant.
Grant?
I don't think he's any relation. Now, Ellie Mae, supposing you was to marry up with Cary Grant, and old Cary looked up from the supper table and he says, Ellie Mae, honey, I'm just a-honing and a-pining for some hot biscuits to sop up my red-eyed gravy. What would you say to that?
I'd tell him to make his own biscuits the same way he made the gravy, because I can't make that neither.
Ken, holler to the stove. I'm gonna learn her to make hot biscuits and red-eye gravy before Cary Grant comes a-courting.
Grab her and hold her, Jethro!
Last time I'm gonna do this for you, Uncle Jed. A fella can take only so much punishment.
Ellie Mae, looks to me like you might be fixing to make biscuits.
I reckon so, Paul.
Flabber milk biscuits, light as feathers. Did you put in the soda and the baking powder, Ellie?
All there was.
All there was. Why, that was a 2-pound can of baking powder.
I don't want to worry nobody, but that clump of dough just took a deep breath.
He's feeling it, says it's baking powder.
Look here, Paul, it's grabbing for you.
What do we do, Granny?
Well, we got two choices. We can either stay here and fight it or get out and give it the kitchen.
I'd say let's fight.
What do you want to do, Jed?
Well, I'm kind of in favor of getting out of here.
Well, that gives me the deciding vote. Now, let's see.
I kind of think we're going to have to find another way to get Ellie ready for court.
Not me! Well, before we do anything, we gotta catch her. She's headed right for the Drysdales.
Well, come on. Jethro!
Why, Mr. Clampett, I would be honored to do a favor for you, any favor. It was you who gave me the opportunity to become a couturier. It was you who gave me this magnificent salon. Oh, vous êtes formidable. Vous êtes très généreux. Vous êtes un grand gentilhomme. Vous êtes...
Now, Morris, before you say too much, maybe you first better hear the favor I'm asking.
Commandez-moi.
Well,
Ask me anything.
Oh, well, it's about my daughter, Ellie Mae.
Ah, Ellie Mae. Très ravissante.
Yeah. Well,
Your daughter is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, kind of high-spirited, though. Matter of fact, Granny has given up the idea of kitchen breaking her. We figure we're going to have to get her husband city style.
City style?
Yeah, with good looks, polite manners, and pretty clothes.
And you want me to provide the clothes?
And the manners, too, I reckon.
Bring her in. I will begin immediately.
You sure it ain't asking too much?
My pleasure, Mr. Clampett.
All right. Jethro! Granny! Bring her in! You best stand back, Morris. She's a mite snappish when she's first unwrapped. You sitting on a feather or something?
No, sir, Uncle. I'm just thinking about what that dress shop is going to look like when Ellie Mae gets done bouncing that Frenchman off the wall. She's going to turn that dude every way but loose.
Now, Ellie Mae don't balk at wearing pretty dresses. She done herself right proud in that style show, didn't she, Granny?
Yeah, but I still say we should have hobbled her to the stove and learned her to cook. It ain't fitting for a girl to get married if she can't cook.
Well, I was talking to Morris about that. He says cooking ain't too important. Especially if Ellie was to marry up with a big movie star like Cary Grant.
That don't make sense. You mean to tell me if Cary Grant comes home at night after working hard riding and roping and fighting them rustlers that he ain't gonna be hungry?
Well, now, Morris says that some of them big movie stars hire folks to do nothing but fix victuals.
Go on. Full-time hired hand just to cook for him? Are those folks made of money?
Well, a big star like Cary Grant must make a tolerable living.
Hey, Uncle Jed, you know something? I think I'm going to be a movie star instead of a scientist or a brain surgeon. I'd sure like to have somebody cooking for me full-time.
What do you think I do?
Well, Jethro, if your cousin Ellie Mae marries up with Cary Grant, maybe he'll learn you the movie starring trade.
Tickety dog, I sure hope Ellie gets him, man.
Well, don't hold your breath. I still say if Ellie can't cook, no man would look at her twice.
C'est pas vrai.
Un rêve.
Exquis.
Ravissant.
Adorable, non.
Une princesse.
Are y'all making fun of me?
Oh, mais non, Ellie Mae. We were saying that you are beautiful.
Ah, c'est belle pour n'importe quel homme.
Madame Pauvin will teach you some French, along with other things. You will find it very useful.
Oh, avec plaisir.
Oh, I have an appointment now with an important new customer, the wife of a bank president.
Comme Ellie, I want to see you in a dark wig. I'm sure the effect will be absolutely stunning.
Don't wait for me, Jenkins. I'll be a long time, I hope.
Bonjour, madame.
I'm Mrs. Milburn Drysdale. I have an appointment with Maurice.
I am Maurice.
Oh, this is a thrill. I hear your gowns can make any woman beautiful.
In your case, madame, it is you who will make my gown beautiful. Champagne?
I'd better not. The very atmosphere is intoxicating. What I do need, Maurice, is something perfectly exquisite to take my mind off those dreadful hillbillies.
Hillbillies?
I won't bore you with the story. I only wish my husband could operate his bank as you do your salon and exclude undesirable peasants like the Clampetts.
Did you say the Clampetts?
Oh, don't worry. They'll never come here. They dress in the most outrageous clothing you've ever... Who is she?
Who, madame?
That divine creature who just... There she is again.
She's a customer.
But she must be someone famous. Is she a movie star?
No, madame.
Who then? Tell me.
If I did, you would not believe me.
Royalty. I should have known. She has that unmistakable regal bearing. Oh, please, Maurice, tell me who she is.
I am sorry, Madame Drysdale, but we cannot reveal the identity of the young lady you have just seen.
Pardon, monsieur, téléphone.
Excusez-moi.
Tell me, she is royalty, isn't she, that lovely young lady?
Well, I can truthfully say that I did hear Monsieur Maurice refer to her as a princess.
I knew it. This is just too thrilling.
Chief, are you sure you're doing the wise thing?
Are you kidding? My wife told the chauffeur to wait. She'd hoped she'd be a long time. In this kind of a shop, she can break me.
Madame will notice the striking beauty of this gown, matched by her own striking beauty. The motif is classic, the material is velvet, and the design is, of course, original.
And the price is, of course, outrageous.
Milburn, how utterly vulgar.
How much is it?
Maurice, you see what association with the wrong people has done to him? Pardonnez-moi.
Certainement, madame.
Milburn, you... Oh, just being here is a privilege. Do you realize who's back in the fitting room this very moment? A princess!
Really, a princess?
Did you say something about a princess?
Being fitted in the bath.
Isn't it thrilling? Who is she? Maurice refuses to divulge her identity.
Probably traveling incognito.
She didn't fool me. That kind of beauty and bearing has to be royalty. There she is. Isn't that thrilling?
Isn't that Ellie?
Gauls. Elegance. That's the word you're looking for, Chief.
Right. Ellie gone.
Yonder's the Drysdales and Miss Jane.
Glasses. Oh, here they are.
Mrs. Drysdale, the princess will think we're tourists.
You oaf. Look, you frightened her away.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry.
But why can't I just go over and say hi to my friends? Well, they'll think I'm putting on airs.
Ellie, Madame Drysdale is, how you say, comment dit-on en anglais, poseur?
Snob.
Oui, snob. Now, if you will listen exactly to what Madame and I tell you, we will teach her a great lesson.
Okie dokie.
Oh, non, doki doki. Certainement, c'est contenu, naturellement.
Well, how about...
Well, now, Granny, with Ellie down there working so hard at becoming a lady, least we can do is bring her some company so she won't get lonesome.
I reckon you're right, Jed. Come on, Jethro, hurry up with that company.
What I want to know is why we can't be Ellie's company instead of these critters.
Jethro, if we was to go down there and stand around and watch Ellie studying ladying, she'd get nervous as a cat.
Speaking of that, where's your favorite bobcat?
Up in the tree, and if she wants it, she can come get it herself.
Yeah, I reckon that'll be enough company.
Skipper sure does look nice, don't he?
Of course he does. He's got on my best tie.
Dog, if he don't tie it better than you do.
Well, if I had 4 hands, I could do some fancy tying, too.
Fancy eating, too.
Come on, drive on, Jethro.
Milburn, you bourgeois banker. How can you just sit there when we may be about to meet royalty?
I have tremendous self-control.
What did you find out? Who is she? Where is she from? Is she really a princess? Can I meet her? Did you speak to her?
Drysdale, please. She has agreed to allow you to be presented to her.
Oh, marvelous!
However, her identity must remain a secret.
I understand. international intrigue and all that sort of thing.
She will speak to you only through her interpreter.
Oh, I must call a special meeting of my bridge club and tell them of this.
Presenting Mr. and Mrs. Drysdale.
Je vous présente Monsieur et Madame Drysdale.
Enchanté.
Is the princess, that is Her Highness, staying in Beverly Hills long?
Madame interprétée.
Votre Altesse restera-t-elle à Beverly Hills longtemps?
Enchanté.
Yes. Come, Your Highness.
Exciting experience. You see, Milburn, that is real quality. The product of generations of breeding and culture. She represents something that mere money cannot buy.
I agree.
Me too.
Staying in Beverly Hills for a while. Perhaps we can persuade the princess to appear at our huge party.
What huge party?
The one we're giving for the princess.
Now, Margaret.
Hathaway, you're very clever at arranging these things. Do speak to her interpreter.
Enchanté.
Excuse me, ma'am, but we're looking for my daughter. She's about your size, except she got yellow hair.
Well, I'm Ellie.
Doggy, that is Ellie Mae.
Child, have you had your head up a stovepipe? Why, your hair is as black as soot.
I know, Granny. This here's a wig. See? Like this. Sure is good to see you. You too, Jethro.
Thanks. Oh, good. The entire royal family is here. Mrs. Drysdale would like to give a huge party for Ellie Mae.
Mrs. Drysdale?
She was mad at us this morning.
Yeah, we was chasing Ellie, and we cut across her outdoor card parlor, and she got awful riled at us.
Come in throwing things at us.
Little sandwiches. They was good, too. Her attitude has changed. Will you attend the party, Ellie?
Well, is the rest of my family invited too?
Mrs. Drysdale would be thrilled at the prospect. Excuse me.
You see, Ellie, what becoming a lady has already done for you?
Yes, sir, Paul.
Did you speak to her? Will she accept?
The princess will attend your party if her family and retinue are also guests.
But of course they're all invited. I'll be honored.
I shall so inform Her Highness.
Now, Milton, if we are going to entertain the royal family, I insist that those untouchables next door be moved out.
Margaret, how would you like it if the princess and her entire family and retinue were to occupy the Clampett mansion?
Oh, Milburn, I'd be the happiest woman in the world.
No more complaints about the hillbillies?
Never.
And your mother will stay in Boston?
Forever.
Then you have my word on it.
Her Highness is pleased to accept.
Your Highness.
Oh, Miss Drysdale, now that you ain't mad at us no more, we can just cut out all this foolishness of bowing and French talk.
We're right obliged for the party invite.
Hope you have some more of them little sandwiches you was throwing at us.
What's the matter, Miss Drysdale? You got a stomach ache?
Reckon she's ailing, all right. Oh, going all right. Sorry, Miss Drysdale called off that party. Been a good chance for Ellie Mae to meet some fellas.
Don't you worry about Ellie Mae. She's gonna get a husband the right way. Baking and cooking.
Oh, you got to stir up biscuits again?
No, this time it's my homemade bread.
How you doing, Ellie Mae?
All right, I reckon.
And you put in the yeast, girl?
Oh, there was.
All there was, why, that was a 2-quart crock.
I reckon I'd best get this outside before it gets out of control. Open the door, Ellie Mae. Best throw the blanket over it, Granny. We don't want to be scraping it off the walls again. Now I know what Cousin Pearl used to say to you, Harry May. Marry a man that knows how to make dough.
Incorporated. It has a nice sound to it.
Then Clamco Incorporated it is. Now, let's see. Jed will be president. Granny can be vice president. Ellie Mae, secretary-treasurer. That leaves Jethro. What do we do with him?
Here's an idea. I'll marry him.
Oh, be serious.
Well, if I may say so, Chief, he'd make a far better husband than he would a corporation executive.
This corporation is just a formality for tax purposes. I'll continue to make all the decisions and all the investments just as I have in the past.
What will the Clampetts do?
Attend a board of directors meeting twice a year. Slow down, you're coming to the president's driveway.
Head her off, Duke. Ellie Mae, you come back here and put on a dress. Oh, howdy, folks. Be right with you directly. Head her off, Duke.
You know, Chief, somehow they just don't look like corporation executives.
Did you bring your notary seal?
Right here, Chief. Ready to go.
Well, pucker up and seal off the wisecracks.
Oh, hi, Miss Jane. Mr. Drysdale.
Hello, Jethro.
You just missed Jed. He's out shagging Ellie.
Yes, we saw them.
Well, come in and have a cup of coffee whilst you're waiting.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see you, Mr. Drysdale. I'm sorry I couldn't stop before.
Quite all right.
Did you catch Ellie Mae?
No, but Duke's got a tree. Quick as I get my second wind, I'll climb up there and fetch you down.
Well, now, if you can take a little time away from treeing your daughter, I'd like you to become president of Clamco.
Oh, no, thanks, Mr. Drysdale. I ain't much of politics.
Politics?
Besides, I don't even recollect where Clamco is. You, Granny?
I think it's down in Pike County, Jed. Near Flat Rock.
No. Clamco is right here in Beverly Hills.
Well, now, you
see,
better forget it for sure, because folks out here never vote for me for president.
Jed ain't fancy enough for city folks.
And if it comes to making speeches, I'd be plumb pitiful.
Mr. Clampett, you don't have to win an election. Clamco is a corporation, and you are its president by virtue of being the majority stockholder.
Here they are.
Sit down, Granny. Jethro? You too, Miss Hathaway. I have a feeling I'm going to need all the help I can get in explaining what a corporation is. Well, everybody ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Very well. Start explaining, Miss Hathaway.
Ellie, come down out of there. Now, Ellie Mae, it just don't seem fitting for the president of a big corporation to have to get his secretary out of a tree.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you and me. Now, come on down here and I'll tell you more.
I'm coming down, Paul. Are you sure enough going to be the president of a big corporation?
Mm-hmm.
And am I sure enough going to be your secretary, Paul?
Ellie Mae, you're going to be secretary for the whole corporation. I'm the president, Granny is vice president, and we decided to make Jethro treasurer because he knows so much about ciphering.
Are we going to have one of them in their office like Mr. Drysdale and me one like Miss Jane?
Well, they didn't say nothing about offices. All we got to do is come to a meeting twice a year.
Oh, shucks, that don't sound like much fun.
Now, wait, Ellie Mae. If we get you down out of this tree and into a dress, I'll see to it that we have offices just like Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane.
Well, can we have one of them there dictate machines so you can dictate letters?
If it makes you happy, we'll have two of them. We'll both dictate letters.
Let's go.
Thanks for the lunch, Fleming. See you later.
Your messages, Chief. This one I think is the most important.
Who wants an office?
President of Clamco Incorporated, and not just an office, but a suite of offices with 2 dictation machines, 1 typewriter for the secretary.
I can read. Pencils and plenty of ciphering paper for the treasurer.
Jethro.
A swivel and rocking chair.
For Vice President Granny. Now, I have checked the building. We could give them the penthouse executive suite.
Are you out of your mind? That rent's for $2,500 a month. Besides, they don't need offices.
President Clampett seems to think they do.
Well, he'll just have to be talked out of it, and I'll get him on the phone.
Yes, sir.
And when you get him, talk him out of it.
Oh, gee.
I have to do everything myself. Am I surrounded by jellyfish? Am I the only one with the courage to,
Howdy, folks. Just wondered how my new offices was coming along.
Fine, just fine. I'm giving you the best in the building. The penthouse executive suite.
Don't have to be nothing fancy.
Only the best for President Clampett. How soon those offices be ready, Miss Hathaway?
I think an hour should do it.
Well, speed it up. Anything else you'd like?
Well, to tell you the truth, there is. I always had a kind of a hankering for one of them fancy leather lunch boxes like you tote.
Miss Hathaway, take care of that. A fancy leather lunchbox with Mr. Clampett's name on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, sure do thank you. See you in about an hour.
We'll be looking for you, President.
Welcome to the Loyal Order of Jellyfish.
You have your notary seal handy.
Yes, sir.
Pucker up and use it.
Granny, you are gussied up to a fare thee well.
Don't you forget it, boy. I am the vice president of a big corporation.
Yes, ma'am.
Confidentially, Jethro, what does a vice president do?
I ain't sure. Reckon we'll find out when we get down to the office.
I reckon. What's that?
Well, I don't know. Fella just delivered it for Uncle Jed.
Open it up, Jethro. I think I know what it is. Yep. It's my new fancy leather lunchbox. You got my name on it.
Owie, ain't that a dandy?
Sure is pretty.
How'd I look?
You look like a big, important corporation president.
That's a fact, kid. You just fill that lunchbox with ham hocks and black-eyed peas and chitlins, and you can hold your own with any of them.
We ought to be getting down to the office. Jethro, you ready to commence treasuring?
Yes, sir. I'm going to cipher up a storm. I even borrowed a geometry book.
What's geometry?
Oh, it's clean other side of arithmetic. It's so deep, even I don't understand it for sure.
Well, you can study up on it. Granny, you all set the vice president?
Soon as you know what that is, yeah.
Well, here comes our secretary.
She looks like she's dressed for a dance.
Don't she? At least the way she's wearing a dress and acting like a lady.
Hey, Pop, let's get down to the cooperation so we can commence the dictating something. I figured you'd want me to wear one of these here dresses that Morris made for me.
Does you proud, Ellie. You're prettier than a Christmas package.
Well, you are too, Paul. You too, Granny and Jethro.
Yeah, I reckon we's as fine-looking gaggle of corporation executives as you'd see in New York, Joplin, any of them big cities. Let's go.
People stopping and staring at us.
Well, Granny, I reckon it ain't every day the folks along Wilshire Boulevard gets to look at a whole corporation in one bunch like this.
Well, I wish them men would quit whistling at me.
Yeah, it isn't mighty disrespectful, you being a vice president and all.
Jed, what does a vice president do?
Well, Granny, quick as we get to the office, treasurer will look it up for you in one of them dictionaries, won't you, Jethro?
If I can squeeze it in with my geometry. It's awful deep, Uncle Jed. Listen to this. The square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides.
Doggy, will you listen to that?
What does it mean?
You wouldn't understand it, Ella May. You're just a secretary.
What do you mean?
Well, now, let's have no squabble between the secretary and the treasurer.
Or you'll get flunked by the vice president.
I'm just toting for practice, Granny.
Well, whereabouts is our offices, Pa?
Oh, Mr. Drysdale's giving us what they call a penthouse.
What's a penthouse?
I reckon we'll find out directly. Come on, everybody.
Come on, Granny.
If this is a penthouse, you can have it.
Come on back, Granny. Granny!
Now, Jed, I ain't a-going.
You come on back.
I ain't a-going in there, Jed. It ain't big enough for us. There's no windows in it. We'll suffocate.
Granny, this ain't the penthouse. This here is an elevator.
This is how you get to the penthouse.
Hell out, this thing grabbed me. Let go of me. You want to revive me, you?
That's your back, Jethro.
Jethro! You put down, you big lummox. Put me down. I ain't going in here.
Come on in, Granny. It's all right.
I changed my mind. I don't want to be no vice president. I want to go home.
We won't let nothing happen to you, Granny.
You see, Ellie Mae ain't scared.
That thing didn't grab her.
Set her
It
down.
grabbed me.
Set her down, Jethro.
It's moving.
Hey, Granny, why are you staying in there?
I'm going back down and get my stomach.
Come on now, don't be scared.
What's Clamco Inc., Pa?
Well, Clampco's the name of our corporation.
Is we gonna make ink?
For all I know, we might be going to make Clampco's. Mr. Drysdale didn't say for sure.
Look at Uncle Jed's name written on that door in gold.
Jethro, I want you to get a hold of some paint. Put the rest of your names up there, same as mine. We's all in this corporation together.
Not me. I quit when I was being yanked up in that oversized well bucket. I guess I can find me some stairs. I'm going home.
Look, Granny, don't you want to stay and see your office?
No, I don't. But I reckon I ought to stay and see that the rest of you is comfortable.
See, this here's my desk. See, I got my name on it.
No, there's your dictating machine.
Dictating something, Pa?
Well, quick as we get settled and go to corporate, I'll do that.
Hey, Granny, look at here. Vice President Grant.
Jethro, Granny says she's done quit. Now, when you take her home, you bring back a can of turps and wash her name off its door.
Yes, sir.
Now, just a doggone minute. Who's higher up? Vice President or Treasurer?
Vice President, I reckon.
Well, then there ain't gonna be no treasurer washing off no vice president from no door.
Hey, Jethro, come see your office. Got your name on the door and everything.
Hot diggity dog.
Can't blame you for feeling proud, boy. Here you are, treasurer of a big corporation, not even out of the 6th grade.
Well, I'm going to work hard, Uncle Jed. Folks ain't going to say I'm a success just because I'm your nephew.
That's the spirit, boy. Get in there and get the treasurer.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Pa, wait till you see your office. It's a yellow speckled doozy.
Private?
That means can't nobody come in and bother you.
Yeah, let's get that off of there right away. Can't do business without folks can come in and talk to me.
Ain't this something, Pa?
Sure enough is. Well, there's room in here for all of us. We don't need them other offices.
Well, maybe when business gets to going, we'll need them.
Sure wish Mr. Drysdale would tell us what kind of business we're in. We're up high enough to be in the roofing business. Look down yonder.
That's a long jump.
I sure hope Granny don't try to leave without finding her stairs.
Jed Clampett, I quit.
Again?
Ain't you happy with your office?
I ain't happy with my job.
Vice President?
That's it. I just had Jethro look up what that word vice means. And I ain't gonna be president of no such goings-on.
Uncle Jed, I couldn't find no turps, but I got some of that gold paint.
Mr. Whitland, Jed.
Oh, wait, I got an idea. Hold down this half of your Granny. We have this fixed in no time, Granny. There you are. Nice president. Enemy, you call Mr. Drysdale. Tell him the president, secretary, and treasurer of Clamco Inc. is rare to go to work doing whatever it is they're supposed to do.
That's better.
I'll answer that. You get out your notary seal.
Hi there, Mr. Drysdale. This here's secretary of Clampco Inc.
And the treasure.
And the nice president.
And the other president.
We's up here in the penthouse raring to go to work, except we don't know what to do.
We'd like to talk to you, Mr. Drysdale.
He says it ain't time yet for a meeting of the board.
Tell 'em we get bored quicker than city folks.
Yes. All right, Ellie Mae, I'll come right up and explain everything. Bye. You come along. 3 miles are better than 1.
And so we see, from what I have pointed out, that the corporation tax picture is not only brighter from the standpoint of the maximum tax rate of 50% on corporate income as opposed to 77% on personal income, but also from the standpoint of the eventual possibility of attaining a long-term capital gain upon the ultimate sale or dissolution of said corporation to wit, Clampco Inc.
Mr. Treasurer, you hear all that?
Oh, yes, sir. Every word.
You understand it?
No, sir. Not a word.
How about you, Miss Secretary? You understand it?
No, sir, Paul. I mean, President.
How about you?
She lost me right after she stood up and cleared her throat.
Miss Jane, that was a dandy speech. But I'm afraid that I didn't cut a whole lot of meat out of it, neither. I suppose you understood it, Mr. Drysdale?
Not a word.
Chief!
Oh, I'm kidding. But I can boil her 10-minute oration down to one simple statement. You'll be paying less money to the government. Now, I make a motion that we adjourn so you can go home and relax and leave all the high finance to us experts.
Well, now, excuse me, Mr. Drysdale, but could I say something?
Of course, what's on your mind?
Well, now, I hear tell that the government needs a lot of money.
Well, that's their problem. Our problem is to see that they don't get it from us.
Why?
Why? Well, everybody tries to avoid paying taxes.
Why?
Well, great Scott, man. That's the American way.
Chief, perhaps you should explain to Mr. Clampett that it is perfectly legal to avoid taxes so long as we do not evade them.
Right. In other words, Mr. Clampett, the government doesn't want you to pay any more tax than you have to.
Well, now, if the government needs all this money and I got plenty, I don't mind giving it to them, especially since this country's been so good to me.
Yeah, you
That's
bet.
sure. Well, the way to help this country is to put money in circulation. And that's exactly what Clampco is going to do.
It is?
Absolutely. That's what a prosperous business economy does. Puts more money into the hands of more people.
Well, that makes a whole heap of good sense.
I see you're getting the picture. Well, now, if you'll excuse us, we'll be getting back to the office.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Drysdale, for explaining it to us.
It's a pleasure. Goodbye, sir.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Well, I reckon we got our work cut out for us.
We sure have.
That's a fact.
I'll say.
What is it, Uncle Jed?
That's what Mr. Drysdale said. We got to get more money into the hands of more people.
Oh, yeah. He said that. How are we going to do it?
Well, the first thing we need is money. Now, you and Ellie run down to the cashier, fella, and get a big heaping box of it.
Come on, Jethro.
Gentlemen, Clampco Incorporated, which I have the pleasure to represent as a director, is desirous of purchasing large parcels of income property. Hotels, apartment buildings, commercial property in your area. We have unlimited capital and we... Great Scott! Money! Falling from the sky, look!
Chief, I hate to say this, but I think it's coming from the penthouse.
Oh, no. They wouldn't. They couldn't.
They would, they couldn't. They are!
Fistful of 5, 3 more 20s.
Couple of hundred.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on, Uncle Jed. I can't treasure as fast as you're throwing it out.
Don't worry about it, Jethro.
Okay.
Look at these dogs. We're sure getting a lot of money into the hands of a lot of people.
Compliments of Clampco Incorporated.
Wait a minute. Them people's getting it all. How about the folks over on my side of the building?
Help yourself, Granny.
Load me up, Ellie.
Granny, what's going on up here?
Private
Wait.
Granny.
Stop! You cannot throw money out the window.
Not till I get some more.
Here's some more, Granny. Step aside, everybody.
Grass picking up real good. $1 bucks of money, Jethro.
Get bigger bills. It makes them much happier.
Cheap, cheer up. So they gave away $27,000. They could afford it.
I know, but the way they did it, it's not deductible. Now Jed wants to dissolve the corporation.
Did he give you a reason?
No. He just said if he couldn't give money away, that he'd just as soon forget it.
Head her off, dude. Emmy, you come back here and put on a dress. Howdy, folks. Be with you directly. Head her off, dude. Ellie, come down out of there.
I ain't gonna do it, Paul.
Well, Chief, if I may venture an observation, it looks as though Clampco Incorporated is up a tree.
Here's your notary seal.
Pucker up.
Exactly. And Clampco that wise mouth.
Thank you. Thank you for picking me up. These shoes were just killing my feet. Ain't broke in good yet.
Well, I could see you was limping when you flagged me down.
Putting your wave my arm out before you stop.
Well, I'm used to spotting people who need a lift. I do that all day.
Oh, what a fine thing. You must be a nice man. Come on in and meet my family.
No thanks, lady. I gotta get going.
Oh, don't be in a hurry. Ain't near as late as you think. That clock of yours is way fast. Uh-oh. You stopped altogether now.
Are you talking about that?
Yeah. See, it says 6:30 and it's barely noon. You better get that thing fixed. It's probably a busted mainspring.
Lady, that means $6.30.
Oh, then forget it. You can get a new clock for that. Thanks again. Goodbye.
Hey, but, lady, what about the fare?
Are you asking me?
I sure am.
Well, now, ain't that nice? Wait till I tell Jed. Jed, I'm going to the fair.
Who with, Granny?
Nicest man I met since I come to Beverly Hills. He works for something they call a cab company. But mostly he just drives around and takes tired folks home. He just brung me clean from town.
Well, now, you see, Granny, there's nice folks every place. Just have to take trouble to find them.
You better go out and keep him company, Jed. We're going to do a lot of walking at the fair. I got to get out of these high-style shoes.
All right, Granny. Oh, howdy there. Come in, come in. Reckon you're the young fellow that brought Granny home. My name's Jed Clampett.
Oh, hi.
I don't believe I caught your name.
It's, Burton.
Burton, huh? What's your first name?
Richard.
Mr. Burton. Dick Burton?
That's right, and my wife's name is Elizabeth.
Well, doggy, Liz and Dick Burton. You know there's another Liz and Dick Burton?
No.
Yeah, run a feed store back home.
Feed store?
Been running it for 40 years. Back home, whenever anybody thinks of hogwash, they just naturally think of Liz and Dick. Sit down.
No thanks. Hey, what happened to the lady that just came in?
Oh, she'll be down in a minute. She told me about the fair.
Good, that's 6:30.
Well, you got loads of time. Sit down.
Well, glad you come in. I wanted you to meet my son-in-law. Ain't he a nice feller, Jed?
He sure is.
Gives you a whole new feeling about Beverly Hills. Well, changed my shoes. We're ready for the fair.
Me too, that'll be 6:30.
Oh, you two got lots of time to kill.
Yeah, we can go for another ride.
Not until I get my $6.30.
$6.30.
Well, the time I've been waiting, it should be $7.
What for?
For picking her up in town and bringing her all the way up here.
You mean you're going to charge money to a poor old widow for picking her up and fetching her home?
Of course, that's how I make my living.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
What?
For making folks think you're so kind and neighborly and then charging them money for it.
Lady, that's my business.
Well, I'm going to make it mine.
Now, simmer down, Granny. Mr. Burton, I reckon what you're doing is within the law, but it's a mighty sorry way for a grown man to behave.
Oh, this has got to be a rib. The costumes, the mansion, the whole bit.
I didn't know I was living in a mansion. I was born in a little log cabin, but poor as we was, I'd have never took a penny the way you're taking it.
Never mind the Gettysburg Address. Just give me my money.
I ain't got no money in these clothes. You'll have to wait a minute.
You ain't waiting for no money. You have slickered your last widow. Death row, Ellie Mae, somebody, fetch my shotgun.
Hey, look, lady, I'll wait in a cab.
You ain't waiting no place. You get off of our property.
Not till I get my 6:30.
All you're gonna get is 2 12s.
I'm going right to the police.
That's good. Turn yourself in, and when you get out, try and lead a decent life.
Who is he, Granny?
A feller that takes money from innocent women. Why, it's a good thing he showed his colors before he got me out to the fairgrounds and filled me up with cotton candy and soda pop.
Where'd you meet him?
He picked me up in town. Oh, butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. He was so nicety nice.
How come he left without his money?
He found out he couldn't get his silver without a little lead.
Now, Granny, you know good and well you wouldn't really shoot nobody with this.
What are you talking about? You know I've smoked the britches of many a chicken thief and revenuer with that gun.
Only when it was loaded with rock salt and bacon rind.
Well, it scared him good. Besides, it gave the chicken something to peck at the next morning. Jethro, you're just the rascal I'm looking for.
Well, what'd I do now?
Nothing. You're gonna learn me to drive.
Well, what for?
But it ain't safe for a lady to walk the streets of Beverly Hills.
All right, Uncle Jed?
I don't see no harm in it. When you get through with Granny, I might just take a go at it myself.
Come on, come on. What do I do first, boy?
Well, the first thing you do is turn that there what you call ignition key.
What does it unlock?
The electricity or something. Then the next thing you do is stomp down on the starter. That's that there little button on the floor. And then you leave off the brake. Like this.
Doggy, she learned quick, didn't she?
She ain't learned yet. She had that thing in gear. Hey, Granny, step on the brake!
Jethro, instead of standing there yelling, maybe you better cut across and catch her before she gets out the gate.
Yes, sir, Uncle Jim.
What did you stop me for? I was just getting going good.
Yes, sir, Ellie Mae, you're gonna make some man mighty. I wish you'd look at that. I ain't seen one of them in years.
Well, turn to it, Paul.
You bet I will. See, this is an extra big one, Ellie. How about you having some?
Oh, no, sir. This is all for you, Paul.
Good. Say, you got some hot mustard I could smear on that?
Oh, it's got hot mustard in it, Paul.
Oh, good. Well, how about some sorghum to pour over it?
It's got sorghum in it, too.
Well, say, Ellie Mae, how about you brewing up a pot of coffee?
I got some boiling.
Boiling?
Yes, sir, I'll fetch it over. Eat it while it's hot, Paul. When it gets cool, it gets kind of tough.
You've been boiling that coffee for some time, ain't you?
Yes, sir, Paul. I want to make sure it was good and done.
Well, I tell you what, Ellie, now that you cooked me such a fine lunch, why don't you go out and see how Granny's doing with the driving?
Well, I gotta feed Skipper and JoJo first. Come on, fellas. Time for lunch.
Tell you what, Ellie, let me feed them. You go out and tell Granny about cooking victuals. She'll be right proud of you.
Yes, sir, Paul.
Here you are, Skipper. Let me see you tie into that.
Are you learning to drive, Granny?
Been driving for a half hour, nothing to it.
Well, let's see you do some.
Plain or fancy?
Oh, just plain, I reckon.
All right.
Oh, your wheel ain't touching, Granny. Just a minute.
Hey, Granny, put on the brake! Oh, that's the gas!
I can't wait to see her fancy driving.
Wowie! Who was driving that truck?
Hey, you the rascal that was smooth-talking Granny and tried to get her to the fair so's you could fill her full of cotton candy and soda pop.
Oh, boy, this has got to be the Beverly Hills Funny Farm.
Hey, where are you going?
Look, I'm sure you're all harmless, but I gotta find the doctor in charge of this place and tell him that somebody left the gate open and 2 beauties got out.
You smooth-talking me.
Oh, boy. Look, honey, take me to your keeper.
Quick, fellas. Take the tug-of-war outside. We don't want to discourage Ellie.
Paul, that rascal that Granny chased. Oh, I see you ate all your omelette.
Omelette?
You want to fix you another one?
Oh, no. I mean, why don't you try cooking something different this time?
Well, to tell the truth, I just as lieve. These here golf eggs sure is hard to cook.
Golf eggs? These eggs you use in the omelet?
Yes, sir. You'll never crack it that way, Paul. I had to melt these rascals down, shell and all.
I think you best throw these out. I don't think they're strictly fresh leaves.
Yes, sir. Oh, like I started to tell you, that there Burton fella, he's out front. Says he wants to talk to the foreman of this here Skull Ranch.
Skull Ranch?
That's just what he said. He was talking so funny that I just wouldn't let him come in the house.
Good girl, Ellie.
All right. You can take Jethro bird watching this one time. But from now on, concentrate on Ellie Mae.
Very well, Chief. You're the doctor.
Oh, hey, Doc, you're just the fellow I'm looking for. A couple of your guests just checked out of your ha-ha hotel.
What are you talking about?
Oh, the doc will know what I'm talking about. Hey, look, Doc, you know that little one called Granny?
Yes, what about
Well,
her?
someone left the gate open and she went tearing out of here about a mile a minute, driving an old truck.
Granny driving?
She doesn't know how to drive.
You're telling me she almost creamed the side of my cab.
Anyway, get on the phone to the police. Explain the situation. Ask them not to arrest Granny, just to stop her and bring her back here.
Right, Chief.
By the way, what are you doing here?
I tried to collect some cab fare from Granny, but...
Granny called a cab?
No, I was cruising in town, and she was walking along the curb and waving and yelling at cars, so I picked her up. I thought she was a little peculiar, but I didn't think she was from this place. And when I asked for my fare, she chased me out with a shotgun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, it's none of my business, but should they have guns?
No, they shouldn't, but I try to humor them. How much was the fare?
$6.30.
Here, 10. Keep the change.
Oh, thank you very much.
Excuse me, Chief. I have alerted the police. They have issued an all-points bulletin. Granny will be intercepted and escorted home.
Good. Well, if Granny's gonna drive in here, I'd better move my car.
Hey, me too.
Past another red light.
Don't worry about passing them red lights. He's catching up with us.
Granny! This ain't the driveway!
Who needs it? I'm taking a shortcut.
Well, we'll be back shortly.
Here they come, Chief. Mr. Clampett.
Bye.
Beverly Hills police certainly are efficient.
Best in the
The
country.
brake! Granny! Step on the brake!
Jethro, you ought to learn your granny to park out front like you do.
Uncle Jeff, I have done given my last driving lesson.
Granny, are you all right?
Am I all right? I beat that policeman
Lady,
here.
I've seen a lot of drivers in my day, but you topped them all. Now, would you sign this citation for me, please?
That's just fine. If you want to wait a little while, I'll go in and see if I can find a picture and I'll autograph it for you.
No, thanks. I'd just like to see your license, please.
Hunting, fishing, or wedding.
I'm Milburn Drysdale. If you'll step inside, we'll telephone headquarters and straighten the whole thing out.
Hey, buddy, come here. Huh? I can see you're a little confused. Don't you know what this place is?
It's like a private home.
It's a private home, all right, with rubber rooms.
What?
Yeah, it's sort of a very exclusive Freud factory. Yeah, you know, kind of a happy farm.
The little woman I picked up, she's,
Bubbles in the think tank. I brought her back once today. She keeps busting out.
who's that big kid with her?
Well, I figure he's got a little space to rent, too. You know that tall geezer, the one with a scraggly beard? Thinks he's Abe Lincoln.
Well, who's the fella Drysdale?
Oh, he's the doc, the head shrinker.
Thanks, I'm glad you told me. Well, wait a minute, what are you doing here?
Oh, no, that's my cab out there. I'm waiting for somebody to bust out so I can bring him back. The doc pays real good for that.
Jojo, give me that. It's mine. Now, you turn loose. You ain't supposed to have this.
Well, there's another one.
Yeah, she's trying to get away from the dog. It's like a piece of rubber.
Probably wallpaper from a room.
Jojo, you come back here. Jojo, bring that back.
Well, there's another $15. See you later.
Glad that rascal's gone. Granny didn't cut me him.
Is that because he picked her up and brought her back here?
Yeah, but she can drive now. Make it easier for her to get away.
Why would she want to get away?
Well, it ain't much fun being cooped up in here all day. I can tell you that myself.
Let's put it this way, if you're going to be cooped up, this is a beautiful spot for it.
Yeah, it's nice, all right. You know, I was born and raised in a little log cabin.
Really?
Yeah. Moving into here was like moving into the White House.
Tell me, this little old log cabin you were born in, was it around here somewhere?
Oh, it was way back in the hills, right smack in the middle of the woods.
I'll bet you did a lot of rail split when you were a boy.
It's a fact. Man and boy, I split many a rail.
Did you read by the light of the fire?
When I could find something to read. I used to have to walk 10, 12 miles to borrow a book.
And I'll bet you were always honest and returned it.
You betcha.
Officer, can I see you for a moment?
Be right with you, Doc. Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yeah, reckon he heard about my corporation.
I spoke to the captain. I gave him my assurance that Granny would do no more driving. He said to tell you that everything is squared away, okay?
Oh, well, all right, whatever you say. Get the doc's here.
Where do you think you're going?
Bird watching. You promised I could take Jethro.
Well, all right, go ahead.
Perhaps we should see a red-breasted nuthat, sort of yellow-bellied sapsucker.
Well, it's none of my business, but shouldn't somebody go along to keep an eye on those two?
You want the job?
No. Thank you. But there is something. You know, I've never been in a place like this. Could I go upstairs and look around?
Sure, if you'd like to. Go ahead.
On a second thought, I'm due back at headquarters. So long, Doc. And you too, fella. Excuse me, Mr. President, but I gotta get out of here.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm taking the shortcut.
Like Granny opened up a new road.
Oh, here you are, Mr. Clampett. Now, remember, I promised the Beverly Hills police that Granny will do no more driving.
I'll do my best, Mr. Drysdale, but that's a mighty muley little woman, and she has took quite a shine to driving.
Well, we've got to see to it that you...
Granny. She must have snuck around the house.
We've got to stop her.
Relax, Mr. Drysdale. It ain't Granny driving.